All right, good afternoon. This is September 5th, and we're doing our screencast for the Python Tutor website. And yeah, I had to go through this a couple times just to get it straight in my head. This is a complicated little code in here and what's going on, so this is a good example. Okay, but I've already taken the code that was put into the assignment, and I typed it into the system, and then I hit visualize the code. So here we're ready to visualize the code. Here's our output for any code that comes out that's supposed to come out on our screen. And this is how we start. Then the first line to execute, which will be, right now it's indicated right, the next line, is we're going to define the function g with a parameter x. Okay, so hit the next button, and what basically is done is in the global frame we have a function g that's an object. It's in the global frame. It's g of x. Didn't have to go through it, but it's just identifies a function to go through. So, and that encapsulated all of this code here. So the next line to execute, when we go down, it's going to be, we're going to assign 3 to the global variable x. Okay, so we hit next, and we see on the global frame, g is still there as an object for the function, and x is our global variable. It has assigned the variable integer 3, and this light green arrow shows what we just executed. And so we're going to go to line number 10, which looks like the last bit of our code, which is we want the variable z, we want to assign it the output of the function g with the parameter passed of x, and x is a global variable 3, and that's what we pass. So that's what we expect. So we'll go to the next line, and from there we're going to go ahead and we want to execute the function. We can see here that there's our function g, and it has been passed the variable x, and that's the value of 3 inside our g object. So we, the very next line to execute is we're just going to start going through the function g. So function g happens to find another function h, which has all the code that is indented. So this is all part of function g, and so there's h. And that doesn't mean we're going to go through the next line in here. The next line will actually put this in as an object. So we go to the next line, and now we have an object of h, okay, the function h, and the parent is f1, which is g. That's the parent function. So then we're not going through this code, it's part of the object. So the next line to do is the next instruction under function g, and that is x equals x plus 1. Now, this x right here is the parameter that was passed to g. It's not a global, it's not the global, it's what happens to be what was the global, which was the 3, but this is the 3 that's inside the g. It has nothing to do with the x that's in h. So we expect, should be 3 plus 1. So we expect a 4 to be assigned to g when we're done with this next line. So we go next, execute it, and it does. X is assigned the value of 4. All right, so the next line in the code, we want to print. So we expect in our output, inside the parentheses, in the function of g of x, and that's just text, it's not actually code, comma, x should equal, and then that ends the text. And then we did a comma, and we expect a space, because between commas, you're going to get a space, and then you're going to get x. It's not going to be the global x, it's going to be, because we're inside g, it should be the 4. And let's see if that's what happens. It should come out right there. In g of x, x equals 4. And there's our space we got because the comma, you always get a space between there. Okay, so that's what we have there. Now, what we are going to go do, we're going to execute h. That's what we expect, and that should bring us back up to here. And we're not passing any variable to h, so it's just we're doing to the function h. Okay, and that takes us up to h. Okay, now, so we're in this frame right there, and the parent called it was G. So we're going to start going through the code there. Okay, inside of H, we're going to create a variable X, and it's going to equal the string ABC. All right. That was the one, a little confusing that you didn't actually have it. Well, actually, I haven't executed it again. So when we execute it, then I'm expecting that you'll get an X in here and it'll equal ABC. We'll see what happens here. So we executed it, and there's a variable X, and it is ABC. It hasn't affected any of the other X's because right now we're inside H. Return value, none. That's because right now in H, it went. We're in H. If the actual function of H has no return value, there's no return. So I mean, this function basically doesn't do anything for us. So we go through. That's what we have just executed. The next line is we're going. I would think we're going to go to down to return X, because there's where we called H. Let's see what happens here. Yes, okay, so we're basically we just executed, we just finished H. So that's, H is done and it's wiped out of the frame. There's nothing to remember. There's nothing returned, so it's gone. If you want to get that ABC, you'll have to run H again, and you won't ever get it out because there's nothing to return it. So the next thing we will run is return X. This X should be what's in G. It's not going to be here, but it should be the 4. And we're returning that. This is part of the call down here, part of the G. So we said Z equals G of X. Well, part of this function is returning a value, and that value should be 4. Okay, so we're going to return value will be 4, and when it comes back around, it's going to it's running this, finishing out this line right here. Okay, that's the line that's just executed. Return value 4. So when there we go. That's what I'm looking for here. Now you're on the global frame. Z finally has a value. That 4 was returned. It's a global value, and it goes right in there, and that finishes you off. Okay, I might have been a little convoluted, but that's how I see it as working. Thank you for your time.